Welcome, everyone, to the first episode of Strategy Execution Unlocked, the podcast dedicated to helping practitioners and organizations master both the art and science of strategy execution. My name is Ben Chamberlain, and I'm the host of this podcast and the founder of StrategyXF. If you're an executive practitioner or change maker involved in whatever aspect of helping your organization effectively bridge the gap between strategy execution, then this podcast and StrategyXF are the right resources for you. In today's episode, we'll explore why I founded StrategyXF and why I hope this exclusive community made up of strategy execution practitioners will ultimately help their organizations reclaim business value currently at risk due to suboptimal strategy execution capabilities. Before jumping into StrategyXF, first let me share my story. For over 25 years, I've been involved in different roles focused in varying aspects of strategy execution. I started my career as a quantity surveyor in the construction industry in the UK, where I improved my project management skills by managing large, complex programs. I then moved into management consulting, helping organizations industrialize their project, program, and broader portfolio management governance processes to ultimately select and deliver the right investments. Next, as the Chief Product and Marketing Officer at UMT360, I led the development and commercialization of a Gartner Magic Quadrant recognized strategic portfolio management software product and an associated best practice framework that helps organizations to align and optimize all spend, so that's operational activity and spend as well as discretionary activity and spend, with the organization's strategy. After UMT360's acquisition by North Highland, I returned to management consulting and led a practice helping organizations to improve their overall strategy execution governance processes. So I've been involved in this space for far longer than I care to remember. I recently hit a crossroads in my career and was fortunate enough to be able to take some time to think about what I really wanted to do next. Now, during this retrospective, I kind of realized two things. I realized that my passion for strategy execution remained as strong as ever, but I'd grown increasingly frustrated with the impact that I had on the overall market. The truth is that despite significant investments in both process improvements and supporting software products, a majority of companies still struggle to effectively bridge the gap between strategy and execution. Now, the stats and data, quite honestly, is sobering. Gartner reports that 70% of strategic investments fail to deliver the expected outcomes. Harvard Business Review notes that 67% of well-formulated strategies fail due to poor execution. McKinsey finds that 70% of large-scale transformation initiatives miss their goals. And the Economist Intelligence Unit reveals that 59% of organizations struggle to bridge strategy development and implementation. The reality is that today, companies' suboptimal strategy execution capabilities are eroding and deferring business value, which is in turn undermining their financial performance and weakening their competitiveness. When considering about what I wanted to do next, I realized that launching another boutique management consultancy or establishing a new silver bullet strategy execution software product were both exercises in futility. Both these markets are saturated and are further consolidating. And as already mentioned, these types of companies to date have failed to move the needle and help organizations systematically improve their strategy execution capabilities across all industries and verticals. So I decided to take a different approach, and I founded the Strategy Execution Forum, or what I call StrategyXF for short. StrategyXF's mission is to build an exclusive community of practitioners who are equally frustrated with the status quo and are motivated to work together to share their insights and promote battle-tested approaches for mastering different aspects of strategy execution. When I thought about it, there are a number of kind of interrelated challenges that are holding organizations back, and I believe the StrategyXF community can work together to overcome. The first is that mastering strategy execution takes a village, and not one person, function, consultancy, software company has all the answers. With this in mind, StrategyXF aims to connect practitioners from diverse roles and functions, all of which ultimately need to work together to effectively collaborate and execute on an organization's strategic priorities. So if you're an executive, work in strategic planning, a member of an EPMO or a strategy execution office, a finance or HR or IT professional, part of a domain PMO or a portfolio manager. Could be a business architect or enterprise architect, a product or program manager, project manager, scrum master, a change management specialist, or from any other role that is critical for helping your organizations deliver on its strategy, then StrategyXF is intended for you. The hope is that by bringing these practitioners together, StrategyXF will provide almost a virtual center of excellence where members can learn from one another, share battle-tested approaches, and better understand the critical role that each function plays in mastering the art and science of strategy execution. So the next challenge is what I call the executive blind spot. Today it seems that most executives are not aware, or worse still, are actively ignoring the fact that suboptimal strategy execution capabilities are impacting their organization's performance. At StrategyXF, we believe it's time for executives to acknowledge this reality and make developing their organization's strategy execution muscle a top priority. The first step is to form a new enterprise function, a function that's responsible for driving this critical capability improvement across the entire organization. At StrategyXF, we call this function the Strategy Execution Office, or SEO for short. But the reality is this function may go by many different names, whether that's an EPMO, Strategy Realization Office, Transformation Office. No, the list goes on. We believe that the creation of the Strategy Execution Office, with the complete backing of the C-suite, may be one of the most important catalysts in helping organizations to move the needle and industrialize their strategy execution capabilities. At StrategyXF, we are laser focused on working with the community to share best practices and lessons learned that will help you establish and effectively run your strategy execution office and associated governance processes. So whether it's helping you convince the executive team that suboptimal strategy execution processes are holding you back, whether it's building a business case to fund the creation of a strategy execution office, whether it's defining and socializing the needed changes in a capability improvement roadmap, whether it's just help and lessons learned in establishing or running that SEO, or much more, the StrategyXF community and team will be with you on every step of that journey. The last challenge is the reliance on one-size-fits-all methodologies, which is really one of the key reasons why organizations are struggling to move the needle on strategy execution. There are a number of issues with these one-size-fits-all approaches or paint-by-number approaches. The first is they're often optimized for a specific function within the organization and do not fully support the needs of the other functions that need to effectively collaborate to deliver on your strategic priorities. Second is that all too often these methodologies promote a new silver bullet way of doing project management and fail to address the other critical processes needed to master strategy execution. For example, between 2006 and 2012, organizations invested in improving their overall PPM capabilities, project and portfolio management. Unfortunately, this often started with a focus on more of the bottom-up project management techniques, and failed to actually address the portfolio capabilities that were needed. In 2015 to 2020 time range, it was decided that these waterfall-based kind of PPM processes were holding organizations back, resulting in many organizations then undertaking an agile transformation or moving from project to product. Not learning from our previous mistakes, again, this transformation started bottom up, providing teams with a new agile way of working, and again, failing to adequately address portfolio management or other critical processes such as architecture that need to be addressed. Lastly, and maybe the most important, one-size-fits-all methodologies fail to address the organization's specific culture, idiosyncrasies, or even industry. At StrategyXF, we understand the impact of one-size-fits-all methodologies, and probably one of our most ambitious initiatives is to leverage the community to co-develop a new strategy execution framework, something we call the SX framework. This community-driven framework will promote different battle-tested approaches being used by members of the community to address 10 key strategy execution principles. The framework is focused on integrating and optimizing 5 critical processes, that is strategic portfolio management, business architecture, enterprise architecture, project execution, and change management. The reality is that these processes are often managed and matured independently by different functions, creating overlap and redundancies, which results in a fractured operating model, making data hard to come by and impairing agile decision making. Integrating and optimizing these 5 critical processes helps organizations to build that lean, cohesive operating model that connects all functions within the organization and ensures that all investments are aligned with strategy and are effectively executed to maximize business value or business outcomes. StrategyXF is committed to building an exclusive community of strategy execution practitioners who are motivated to work together to make a difference. Through the platform and the podcast, we will interview industry leaders and practitioners to share insights to help you on every step of your strategy execution journey. I'm particularly excited about the upcoming OGs of Strategy Execution podcast series, where we'll meet with the pioneers that have shaped the strategy execution space as we know it today. If you'd like to get involved, which I hope you do, I invite you to go to strategyxf.com and sign up to join the community and become a founding member. I look forward to seeing you in the community and on an upcoming episode. Thanks again.